Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Chiodo. I play guitar for a band called Crosswinds from Baltimore, Maryland. And on today's episode, we're just going to be doing some gear talk. So if you've been keeping up with these episodes, I might look vaguely familiar. I did do an episode a few months back called Bands React to Cringy Musicians. And then I was also on a more recent episode where my band Crosswinds did a live shoot with To All the Crowded Rooms for a show we played in Philadelphia. So the big question, why the fuck am I here? Why me? Why the fuck am I in charge of doing these gear talk episodes? So it's either A, I bugged these guys for long enough that they finally caved and just let me do it, or I proved to them that I know just enough about gear to actually be useful. So jury's still out, I don't know, but regardless, I'm here and I'm excited to be doing these episodes. So for today's episode, I'm just going to be doing a quick rig rundown of my gear. Just kind of going over the basics, what I've learned, specifically what I use for recording, for live shows, for touring, for everything in general, just sprinkling in some bullshit, about why, I guess, in between. But right off the bat, you can kind of see a trend here. Definitely a Gibson guy. My main Gibson of choice are SGs, but I do love Les Pauls. I just choose to play SGs because A, they're the first nice guitar I ever bought, and B, they just play better live to me. They're lighter, they have the same electronics most of the time as Les Pauls, and they're just generally less expensive, so I like bringing them out more. To all the Fender people out there, I do own Fenders. I love Fenders. It's probably my favorite clean guitar, or clean tones out of a guitar. I just don't own a lot of them. I do have two main guitars that I use that if you ever were to come to a Crosswinds show, you would see me use live, and there's a reason for that. So, quick edit. So this is a 2012 Gibson Sg 60s Tribute that I've completely done over. So this guitar came to me as kind of a shell, just the wood body. I did everything else on it. So installed the pickups, the bridge, obviously the tail pieces, all the electronics, the tuners, the whole 9 yards. So I love playing this guitar. It's in all black, which is actually sweet, and the pickups are my go-to. There's a 498T in the bridge and a 490R in the neck. So this guitar will almost always be with me, and this is the one I'll be using the most. I do have a backup that comes with me in case I break a string or shit goes sideways, and it's pretty similar. This is a 2012 what's called Gibson Sg-J, not an Sg Junior. These were a model they made for like a year or so. This is not what it looked like stock. These are 498T and a 490R in the neck, but gold hardware all the way through. This is going to sound very, very similar to the black SG, and that's what I try to keep in check. So when I play a show, if I have to switch guitars, I don't have to EQ my amp, or it's not going to sound much different, just to kind of keep everything neutral the whole way through the show. So those are my two main ones. Now, I do have more expensive SGs and more expensive guitars that I do not bring out for just that reason. These sound very similar, these play great, but they're just cheaper, right? I have Gibson SG Standards, I have the Les Pauls, which do cost more, but I've been doing this for over 10 years, and I can't tell you the amount of friends that I've had who have been on tour or even playing locally that have had their vans broken into, their shit stolen, but also just things happen. A lot of guitars, even more amps. Those are downstairs because they don't fit in this room anymore. So we're going to take a little journey down there. So these are my three main amps. Amp on the right here is my PV5150 combo. I swapped out the Sheffields for Celestion Vintage 30s. I take this amp out on the road probably the most. Middle amp is my favorite amp. This is my Splon Quick Rod 100. Matching 412 cab with Celestion creambacks, and this has KT88 tubes. The one here on the left is my baby. This is my Bad Cat Lynx 50 with also Celestion Vintage 30s. This is definitely my most expensive amp, so it rarely goes out, but I do love playing it. Alright, so that's it. That's the guitars and the amps. I do have more amps downstairs, but I didn't feel like taking them out of the road case. They're kind of just my backups or just kind of collector stuff. I do have a pedal board, but as you'll see in the next two videos, I'm updating that. I'm going to be doing some pedal unboxing. I got an Ernie Ball VP Junior tuner, which I'm really excited about. and some Oneater boost pedals that I'm going to go over, and a custom pedal I had made by a guy here in Baltimore called Noise Kick Effects. It's an ABY, but it's got a little Philly twist on it. But other than that, if you haven't yet, click to subscribe. You can hit me up on my Instagram anytime at Drew Chiodo. Check out my band at Crosswinds MD. And if you have any questions or anything, just hit us in the comments below. All right, see you on the next episode.